Hello. That's what I needed. Hi, my name is Jazz, and I chronically make too many promises that I don't fully think I can keep. I am going to a LARP in a few months' time. For those who don't know, the LARP is very goth, fae fantasy, and I have promised to help with the decoration committee, and that means I have a lot of props to make, which means I need to be held accountable, and I've just outsourced the problem. That's right, you guys need to hold me accountable. As it's now September, it seems like the perfect time for me to make some of these ooky spooky props. The idea that I promised is for a giant mantle display. I want to make something that is Gothic as all hell. I want like Phantom of the Opera. Oh my goodness, this is a fire hazard level of candles, except they'll be LED. So we're okay, venue. Don't kick us out. Having all the candles flickering. I just want to walk into a room and see nothing but candles. So, scaling it back a little bit, because I can't access the venue until the day of the LARP, I need to make sure that it's the right sort of size. I want to build this display in 3 parts so that I can make it a little bit flexible on size. And I do have my own mantelpiece that I can kind of use as a guide. So, let's go to the mantle. This is the mantle, and on it, my vision, my dream is for it to be from one side to the other, the entire thing to just be full of candles. I don't want people to walk in and be like, oh, that's cute. There's some candles here. I like that they put some effort into the props. No, I want it to be like candles. So, the way this project is going to work is 1, we're going to go to Pinterest and we're going to get some ideas for ooky spooky candles. 2, we are going to build the base, which I have been imagining is going to be a lot of trash. 3, we're going to build up the base to make it actually look like sculpture. Then 4, then 4, learn how to count, Jazz. We are then going to be painting the base so that it's all a consistent color. And then finally, we will be putting on the final details, putting in some shading, maybe like weaving some things in between them. We'll vibe it out. Starting with number 1, we're going to head up to Pinterest. Let's go. Okie doke, let's take a look at Pinterest. I want to get some ideas for like how we can recreate this like waxy look. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at the way that the wax is here. Like all the layers and the shapes. It's almost like a filigree. I love it so much. See, now this is the problem. I don't like that you can see that the candle is sat like on top. That's something that we're going to have to work around, like maybe cutting the structure so that it sits, it's more embedded. This one's cool. I like how they've like built it up and then sat the candle inside, so that could work. This is almost a bit too neat. You can tell that they've like sawn the pipe like very neatly. I don't want it to be neat. I want it to look like it's been like ravaged by time, you know, like, oh, there's just so many ideas. I love wax so much. Like, it just has a quality to it. I think this is going to be really fun. Challenging, but I think it's going to be a really, really good time. So this is what we're shooting for. Thank you, Pinterest, and all of these different creators. Let's go to my pile of trash. Honestly, guys, like the amount of trash I save is obscene. Like, seriously, it's just like, like, look at all of this. Look at everything I have saved for what projects could be. Also, yes, this is we've turned like the old master bedroom into my studio. So this is the ensuite. Like, don't judge me, okay? My life is trash. So here we go. Here is a small selection of trash for your viewing pleasure. Over here, we've got all of the insides of loo rolls and kitchen rolls, stuff like that. Then over here, we have things to kind of build up where you kind of it just became like a body of wax. So like things like this Pringles tube, these little you can pop them and then it creates a little bit of height in comparison to that one. But it's not like this army that's going on where they're all very uniform. We want it to look very organic. We're going to have a little bit of a play and then start to like hot glue them into place to create the very base. I'm going to start piecing these all together and then we will come back once I've got a bit of a structure going on. Let's do it. Hi, you think I'm going to play with you? Do you? I think every artist has that stage in a project where they're looking at their silver army going, how did I get here? And realizing the scale of the work. I have been at this for many hours and I don't know if it's gonna work. That's why I'm gonna stop now. It must be close to midnight. Tomorrow we're gonna get the plaster on, and if the plaster dries in time, then hopefully we'll also get to do the base coat. It's gonna be okay. On that very, very sleepy, very tired note, I am going to go to bed, wake up bright and early in the morning to carry on doing it all again. So, night, guys. Good morning. Yes, I have reviewed the footage. My hair, by the end of yesterday, looked how I felt, really, just exploding from the amount of moisture in the air.
It's the humidity!
Today it's a little bit cooler, it's raining, so we can now crack on. I have taken this behemoth down to the mantle place and just test it, and it is the right size, it's the right width. So I think this mantle display is going to look really, really cool. What we're going to do now is we're going to crack on and get the circles cut out so that we can actually get some tea lights in this bad boy. So what did you mean, Jazz, when you said, let's get the circles cut out? I meant getting the circles of cardboard cut out so that we can actually put tea lights on them, sort of like a little platform. So here I'm starting to cut out the cardboard because I thought that would be sturdier than masking tape. And my plan is to start cutting them out, sticking them in really precisely so I could get all the right heights for the tea lights to sit in the tubes. And then... So I just had a thought. I was here like getting covered in hot glue and, trying to be really precise about it. And then I realized it doesn't have to be neat. And it's not like I'm making this professionally for anybody. It just has to function for me. Do you remember my aforementioned trash pile? All around me, a familiar face. I'm thinking we just stuff it full of trash, baby. And then I'll just crush it down to whatever's the right height for the tea light. I want it to be a particular height so that the flame is like beneath the melting line like a natural candle. So yeah, I'm gonna stop futzing about, and instead I'm gonna find out. Fabric could work. Bottles, no, I'm saving you for another project. Spoiler alert. Egg cartons, yeah, can be. Some old like tight fabric. Yeah, that'll squish down. Let's go. Okay, all of the candle rests are in, which means that I've been able to actually put the tea lights in. I think this is looking really good, given that it is still like a pile of trash. It's starting to take shape. Now I'm going to go mix up some paper mache and have a look and see what I can find in terms of plaster, and then we'll get going. Let's go make some paper mache.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would.
So here we are. I have stress cut some bangs into my hair because the humidity was out of control, as was my crafter's audacity. I'd never made paper mache before. I'd never even attempted it. I just saw a Pinterest that looked really easy and was like, yeah, this will be fine. I can do this. No, I was wrong. I could not do it. It failed so hard. The whole thing just was wet, stayed wet, and it became like a mulch. And I had horror fantasies. I had horror visions about this project being like covered in plaster and the paper mache, the mulch underneath, never drying, and it slowly rotting from the inside out and then just kind of falling apart like some sort of moldy ancient civilization. I'm here to give it another go. These have now all dried out. They have recovered. It's like it never even happened. And I have the supplies. So we have two types of plaster. We have plaster bandages, which I have a lot of experience with a while ago, but I have a lot of experience with using this. So hopefully this should be able to do the job. I also have some leftover of stone cast powder. I think this is a regular kind of plaster. This I'm very confident in. I have about 8 rolls of it. I'm going to throw some rubber gloves on and start kind of mixing up this and building a base. And then hopefully we will have something that I can then start painting and doing the detail work on, because that's the fun bit. We're in this together, okay? Like, stay with me, because it will come together. It will. We can do this. Crafter's audacity. Let's go. So when you're using these plaster bandages, you cut them up into little bits, dip them in water, that activates the plaster, and then you can start slapping it on there. And it really helped to not only create that waxy, almost fabric-like texture, but it also helps to bulk up and hide the trash skeleton underneath. So I was really pleased with how these were starting to look. It was looking a lot more organic, a lot more structural. I was really, really pleased. And then I decided to move on to hot glue just to give the tops of the pillars a little bit more of that candle look. And then I ended up getting a little bit mushy. So have my mush. You know, I really appreciate you guys like hanging out with me. Doing YouTube videos and this sort of thing is something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and just have never I've just never thought that I even should, and that the space was already full. But I don't know, I've been watching a lot of newer creators, and I'm not saying that like I'm an expert in doing this sort of thing. I am sure that a lot of people who are into crafting can appreciate that if you're sort of like a jack of all trades, master of none type, like I am, you spent your whole life being told like, oh, you know, you can make a career out of that if you focused on it and stuff like that. But I'm like, yeah, but there's like other crafts. There's always more craft. It was all stuff I really loved, but it was like, oh, which one are you going to make your career, if any of them? And then it was just sort of like, none of them really, because then that stops me doing the other stuff. Getting into YouTube is, to facilitate that. I am not saying I'm an expert. I'm not saying that anyone should like follow like what I do necessarily. But yeah, so no, I'm pleased to be here and doing this, and I love to hang out with my creators like that I follow, you know. It just makes you feel like you're not doing your craft alone, which sometimes is very necessary on those long nights when it just feels like it will never end. I would love to know who was kind enough to go, do you know what? I'll give her a shot. Yes, she has like no subscribers whatsoever. So yeah, let's give her a shot. Let's see what she's got. I want to know who's here, who are the OGs going to be, you know. Come muddle through with me. I think I've rambled on enough now. So thank you. And let's carry on with the time lapse. So I came in the morning, and after it dried, it just looked a little bit too separate. Like you could see the difference between the glue and the plaster. So I was looking for something that was more cohesive. I need it to look like it's one material. So I found this decorator's caulk, and I'm not going to show you the footage because it got a little ghost. But after I'd put it on, I was really, really happy with this. It finally all looked like one material, and it worked really, really well. So I was really pleased with how it was looking so far. Okay, here it is. Here they are, all painted with their base coat, and this is it. This is like the really nerve-wracking bit where it's like, does my theory work at all? So the plan is I've got my two colours that I'm planning on using. I'm looking at sort of like these reference images, and so I just want to kind of bring out that shading a little bit. So I've got my brush, and I've got these two, sort of like a ochre yellow and like a kind of burnt umber brown. I'm just going to go in the middle, in all the gaps around all the edges, and just try and bring out the texture a little bit more, really. I'm nervous in case it all goes completely wrong. We'll give it a go. Final stage, y'all. Let's go.
A few moments later.
So yeah, using the sort of like burnt umber, I thought it was going to give me that sort of like slight orangey look, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. It looks way, way too fleshy. I've just been experimenting over here. So I don't know if you can see in there, but I've used like a blue instead, and I feel like that makes it a little bit less makes it a little bit less fleshy, a little bit less disgusting. So we are going to clean the palette and do that instead. done. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me through this video. I am so thrilled that it's actually finished. This is normally something that would take me months to maybe half do and then not fully commit to and then do a rush job at the end. But because you were holding me accountable, that means that I was able to do this within the week and still work my full-time job. So that's something that really is like to me, you know? So I really, really appreciate you guys sticking around till the end. Just a little bit of a wrap up, really. What went well, what didn't go so well. Starting with what didn't go well, it's not as solid as I would want it to be. Technically it is, but it just doesn't feel as rigid. And I think what that is because of the tin foil underneath. You don't quite have the clean finished lines around the base, and you also don't have the feeling that the plaster is attached to the skeleton underneath. It almost feels like they're kind of wiggling, I guess. It's sticking together, but it just doesn't feel as solid as I would like it to. What else didn't go well? I didn't quite get the finish that I wanted on the plaster. So the caulk helped, but there are still points where I can see the plaster bandage a little bit. It's a LARP. I don't think it's going to matter that much because it is at a distance. It's more about the impact of when people walk into the room and they see it that's the important thing, not going up close and looking at the teeny tiny details. But what went well? I think that it has turned out very similar to my reference images. I love them all being separate pieces. That makes it so much more flexible for a variety of different LARP and decoration related settings. Halloween, a medieval tent. You could have them all running down the center of a banquet table. There's so much flexibility in the fact that they've been separated like this. I love how they look when they're lit. The hot glue really did get that waxy texture, and using the calc was so good. It has really smoothed out a lot of the gaps that was really starting to stress me out. Yeah, this is an interesting first video. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it has got that sort of Gothic dark fantasy vibe that I really, really enjoy, especially when you've got ivy and moss and what have you all woven through it to really have that decrepit and old sort of look to it. So yeah, I'm really pleased. The next video is going to be more of a facilitating me kind of video. It's jumped the queue because it was so freaking cute that I have to do it next. Next week is for cuteness only. So yeah, thank you so much guys for coming along with me on this. I really, really appreciate it. Please do like and comment and subscribe. Any and all of those would be amazing. But also if you haven't got time, and I know that I'm a lurker. I just watch videos and never interact with them. So who am I to ask for anything more? Thank you so much for being here, guys. Thank you for having faith in me. And now it is time for the reveal.